curious. You want people to respect you, but there is a frustrating psychological paradox at play here. The harder you deliberately try to engineer respect and admiration from others, the further away it pushes them. Consider a young student named Shen, who came to study under a Zen master named Dogen. Shen was a hard worker, he was honest, but what he craved most was to be looked at by his peers the way they looked at Master Dogen, with deep trust and quiet admiration. Shen looked at that admiration and came to a highly logical, yet entirely flawed conclusion. If he put in enough effort, he reasoned, he could actively work for it and earn it. So he began to work for it. But the moment a good deed is performed with an underlying desire to be seen, the actual nature of that deed changes. Shen developed a calculated methodology for his charity. When an old farmer needed help carrying wood, Shen volunteered immediately. But on the way back, he intentionally routed his trip right through the middle of the busy village, ensuring everyone saw him sweating under the heavy load. He made a habit of casually broadcasting his generosity. After giving his own food to a family who lost their rice in a flood, he made sure to mention it to the other students that evening. He told himself he simply wanted people to know that good things were happening. He also sought validation from the top down. After walking 2 hours to get medicine for a sick woman, he rushed straight to Master Dogen's gate to report his success, waiting for a public commendation that never arrived. The village reacted to his efforts. People offered polite smiles. They gave basic, courteous gratitude, but they completely withheld the deep, unspoken reverence he was desperate to secure. To understand why, we can look at a visual model of the transactional ledger. Imagine a simple, balanced scale. Shen's good deeds stack up, but his intense expectation for recognition drops on the opposite side, neutralizing their value. This expectation creates invisible friction. The relationship strains under the unspoken demand, causing structural damage to any real trust. Engineered charity reliably produces polite acknowledgement, but it never yields genuine respect. The underlying motive remains tied to the giver's ego rather than the receiver's well-being. Around this time, a new student named Bo arrived at the temple. Bo was the exact opposite of Shen. He arrived quietly, spoke very little, and offered zero backstory to validate why he was there. One morning, Bo noticed an old woman whose water pot had broken. He simply transferred his own water into her surviving clay vessel and walked away before she even turned around to realize what had happened. A few days later, a fire broke out in a storage hut. Bo put down his tools, fought the blaze for an hour, and when the flames were out, he picked his tools back up and returned to his chores in absolute silence. Shen had also helped fight that exact same fire, but that evening, Shen used the event as an opportunity to hold court with the other students, detailing how fast he had acted and how his labor saved the village. 2 men performed the exact same physical labor, yet the presence or absence of an audience determined whether the act was a true gift or simply another transaction. Weeks passed, and Shen's intense frustration grew. Then, one afternoon in the busy market, Shen witnessed Bo doing exactly what he always did, walking through the stalls, carrying nothing, and actively doing nothing of note. As Bo casually walked past a shop, an old man sitting outside saw him. Unprompted, the old man stood up and lowered his head and shoulders into a deep, respectful bow. Shen's strict internal arithmetic completely broke down. He had objectively walked further, worked harder, and given more away than the new student. Yet Bo was the one receiving the quiet reverence Shen wanted. Shen went directly to Master Dogen that evening. He demanded to know why the careful math of his good deeds continually failed to equal the sum of respect. Master Dogen's answer reframed the entire concept. Respect is not a currency you can purchase through accumulated labor. It is an involuntary physical reaction to another person's state of being. Dogen led Shen into the quiet courtyard and pointed to an ancient, unmoving fruit tree standing near the wall. This tree was his silent answer. He explained the tree's ecological physics. The tree produces fruit simply because it is a tree. It doesn't track its water intake, and it certainly doesn't demand attention from the people who walk past it. Dogen connected this mechanical truth directly to Bo. Bo never carried his good deeds back to the temple in his hands to display them to the other students. He left them exactly where they fell. Shen's actions, by contrast, created what we can visualize as an invisible debt. In this model, Node A passes a gift to Node B, but a thick tether remains attached between them, restricting the receiver's movement. Because of this invisible tether of expectation, the recipient subconsciously feels trapped and unsafe around the giver. Their natural reaction is to pull away and put up a defensive shield. Unconditional giving operates entirely differently. Without that tether of expectation, the tension vanishes completely. The receiver's defensive shield drops, and they naturally gravitate closer to the giver on their own. True respect is the feeling of reaching for fruit with no strings attached. You take it without any feeling of debt because it asked for nothing in return. If you want to stop chasing an audience for your deeds, the answer is simple. Just be the tree.